Hey everyone, this is Michael again and welcome to another video. This is going to actually be a review. Since I'm not going to be reviewing Monday Night Raw tonight, which that review will be up tomorrow, I was like, why not do a review of this episode of WWE Untold? And this episode was called Rey, Eddie, and the Rumble. Now, if you all don't know what WWE Untold is, it is a show on the WWE Network where WWE relives, a time period, an event, or a match in its history. And they get superstars, who were involved with the match or the time period, and they give, information on what they remember as, what was going on at that time, what was going on, before the match or before the event. So it's a good show. It's a good, show on the WWE Network. And I've seen only one other WWE Untold episode, and that was when they did one on Eddie Guerrero. I know that they did one on Kane. They did one on Team Hell No, and they did another one on Shane and Kurt when they had their street fight at King of the Ring 2001, which is one of my favorite matches, probably be my favorite matches of all time. So, got to catch up with some of the episodes of WWE Untold. Now, with this episode, they focus on, Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero. They talk about, they actually got, Rey Mysterio to be interviewed. Rey Mysterio was talking about, what was going on. At that time, this was at the time where Rey and Eddie were having their feud in 2005, with the whole Custody of Dominick storyline where Eddie was like to Dominic, to Rey's son Dominic, I'm your papi. If you all remember that feud. They also talked about Rey Mysterio and how, when he would watch wrestling, he would watch his his father wrestle at the arena. They talked about that. And he also talked about how Eddie Guerrero was, great to work with. Everybody loved working with Eddie. And they had archival clips of Eddie being interviewed. There was phone conversation audio from Eddie, which, at some points in these, from what I heard in these Untold episodes, either they could be interviewed, like new interviews, or it could be old, interviews, whether it be interviews from back in the day or through phone interviews. So, Rey Mysterio, talked about, like I said, how everybody loved Eddie, everybody loved to work with him. They also showed the match that they had at WCW Halloween Havoc in 1997, where Eddie Guerrero was the Cruiserweight champion. This was a title versus mask match. Yes, if Eddie won the match, Rey Mysterio will get to unmask himself. Rey Mysterio ended up winning that match, becoming the new WCW Cruiserweight champion. And then they just flash forward to the feud that they had, Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero in 2005. And, Eddie Guerrero as a heel in 2005, was really cool. He turned heel after him and Mysterio lost the tag team championships to Eminem. If you remember Eminem, it was a stable. It was John Morrison when he was known as Johnny Nitro. It was also Joey Mercury and Melina. And just Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero had a little feud, which Rey Mysterio said it was a 4-month feud, which I remember. And Eddie Guerrero, did the whole with Dominic thing where he was like, "I'm your poppy." If you all remember that. They also talked. Dominic also got interviewed. He was stating that that Ray came to him. His father Ray came to him and said, we want to do something with you. And Dominic was saying that he didn't really want cameras around him, and then he was saying, that there was money going to be involved in this, and he was like, money, that means more toys for him, because he was young at that time. He said he was in like the third grade when this storyline feud was happening between Ray and Eddie, and it showed clips from SmackDown where Ray issued a challenge to Eddie Guerrero at SummerSlam for the custody of Dominick, which was, of course, a ladder match, which I remember watching. I thought that match was good. I know a lot of people say, it's corny, but I really liked that match. I remember watching it live. That was the first SummerSlam that I watched back in 2005. 2005 for me was a time where I was getting older. I was in the eighth grade, going into the I was in the eighth grade at the time, so I was able to watch the WWE pay-per-views because I got VHSs at the time, and recorded the pay-per-views. So, but it showed clips from the match. Ray also talked about how when he was on top of the ladder, he went back first off the ladder, like he had his hand on the hook, and he fell off the ladder and went back first onto the ladder. So we saw clips of the match from SummerSlam 05, the Custody of Dominick ladder match, and then talked about after Eddie died, which like a few days after Eddie died, they had the I think it was the European tour, show clips of the fans. They all had signs that said thank you, Eddie. Saw like a clip of Theodore Long, who was the SmackDown general manager at that time, which in my opinion he was one of the best general managers on SmackDown. And Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero, they made SmackDown back in the day. They were like the two top superstars on the SmackDown brand that everyone wanted to see back in the day. Along with Kurt Angle, JBL, and it showed Theodore Long, talking about Eddie. They did the 10-bell salute. And went into when Rey Mysterio was in the Royal Rumble in 2006, and talked about how he won the Rumble, how he felt that Eddie was watching from above, from heaven, and at that time Rey Mysterio winning the 2006 Royal Rumble, you could tell that if Eddie Guerrero was still alive, that was, his spot, that Rey Mysterio was Eddie's spot, and Eddie, if he was still alive, would have won the 2006 Royal Rumble. Then, talk about, Rey Mysterio went on to WrestleMania, won the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 22. And also showed Mysterio going for the first time to Eddie's grave, which it stated, last year was the first time, that Mysterio visited Eddie's, grave. show like a little picture of Mysterio visiting Eddie's grave site, and at the end, Rey says I miss Eddie, miss him every day, but this was a good episode. This was probably one of my favorite Untold episodes so far. I gotta check out the other episodes that they have, but this was a really good episode. If you guys haven't checked out WWE Untold, would recommend it. It's on the WWE Network, and definitely check out this one if you're a fan of Rey Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero. Definitely check out this episode. Very good, very well done episode. It makes me want to watch this episode again because of how good this was. But anyways, that's it for this review. Thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed this review, and definitely give this video a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, and I will see you all back here tomorrow with the Monday Night Raw review. So until then, I'll see you all later.